Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook. Hey, everybody. J-Mac the Bearded here, one with you at the Four Bros Radio Show. We're coming live to you tonight. We got Chris, the one, the only Chris Mabry. Chris, what's going on, man?
Hear me?
Not much. Just trying to stay out of the heat.
Dishes and garbage.
Trying to stay cool.
And then we got Big B with us tonight. 2 bros and 1. Big B making it 4 with 3. 2 plus 2 is 4.
Yep.
So Big B's here tonight with us. How you going tonight, man?
I'm doing okay. It was a hot one here in Minnesota the last day or so, and just ready to sit down and chit chat with you guys.
You know, man, it seems like we can never get the same weather. It seems like it's either really hot where you are, and then the weather sucks here.
Well, we're gonna get sucky weather down the road because it all just comes this way. So
yeah, I guess so.
Did you guys have hot weather just a few weeks ago or something?
We did, and actually we're up for some more here coming soon. To be honest, Chris, what's going on down where you are? What's the weather like down there?
It's a little rainy. Been raining for the last 3 weeks, and I think tomorrow it's supposed to be like in the 90s.
Wow.
That's Texas.
Right. That's Texas. So you're near Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So down to Dallas, Texas. So
Mm-hmm.
also getting a little behind the scenes of where your bros are coming to you from. Sharing a couple more times here, but Chris, lead us off tonight, man. You like this indoor football league, and why don't you tell us what's going on there, how your team's doing, how the league's doing overall?
League's doing good overall. The indoor football league's been around since 2009, but the overall sport has been around since 86, and it's been a lot of NFL players have gone there just to get more eyes on them and try to get more spots in the NFL. Kurt Warner's done it.
Iowa Barnstormers, right? For Kurt
Yes.
Warner, Iowa Barnstormers. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Jay Gruden was a coach in the league.
Now, is this like same as arena football, or is this like a little different?
Yeah,
okay.
it's basically
just a different
the same
name.
game.
Okay.
It's the same game except renamed kind of different. Even Matt Nagy was a quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
So,
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And one team that was here called the Desperados, a few owners from the NFL were part of it, like Jerry Jones, the Falcons owner, and then they've had entertainers like Bruce Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
Did Kiss own a team too?
He owned a team. Even before he was the Broncos owner, even I can't think of his name.
Who? Wait, say it again.
Broncos owner.
Pat Bolin.
No, he was a John Elway.
Oh, before
He
he
even
was
held
The
it.
GM. I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got what he's saying now.
Yeah. No.
So,
No.
there's it kind of goes 2 ways.
So how many
It's
teams
just-
do they got this year? Or right now?
This year they got 12 teams. There's like 4 different leagues, but
Oh, okay.
the one that Frisco team's part of, it has 12 teams with I think 1 or 2 ready to play next year. They kind of do expansions every year, so
Okay.
it just depends on how many teams are in that year.
Gotcha.
Okay. No, thanks for that, Chris. I think that's something
No
new we
problem.
can get that out there and get people to watch other sports. And
And-
the USFL is coming back. Did you guys hear that?
It is, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, so Brand, Big B, I'll lead off with you. Sorry, I
No,
should
you're fine.
stop calling you Brandon and start calling you Big B.
Oh, call me
Just in
whatever.
my
Just
head.
don't, yeah, you call me whatever. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's what I.
Gotcha. Yeah. So let me ask you what you think. What do you think about the USFL coming back? Do you think that that's going to be a hit? Do you think people are going to watch it? You think what do you think?
It's football. I mean, with football only being, most seasons are between 12 and 16 games, depending on what league you're in, college or whatever. So everybody gets that hankering for football all the time. So I think if it wasn't for COVID, I think XFL might have done something. And then there was that other UFL football that kind of came out right away. And I don't know if that would have lasted, but.
Oh yeah, and then
Yeah.
there's a spring league going on right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching.
So I think more possibilities for watching decent football and get to know some of these players, because we all know that other leagues, all they do is take players that are cast-offs from the NFL. I think the original UFL league had Herschel Walker in there and Doug Flutie. I think were like
Jim Kelly as well started in the USFL. So did Steve Young. There's a couple of big names that did for sure. And
we always had the European Football League for a while. So I just think it's just something that, out of all the sports, I think football is the one that everybody's like, hey, football, let's go watch football. No matter if it's college, high school, women's, they just want to see football. And everything else is just so dragged on, baseball and basketball and hockey, that you kind of get a little, what's the word I'm thinking of? Just, kind of nonchalantly, it's like, oh, a baseball game? Okay, whatever.
Right.
So.
No, and we've talked about that before. You don't get a lot of people that are like, oh, man, I got to get home to watch that Rangers game, man. I got to get home to watch that Texas Rangers game. Unless it's a meaningful game in the playoffs. I mean, there are 162 games a year in baseball. You don't have to catch every one of them,
Nope.
And so, speaking just a little bit on the USFL and football itself, do you think there's going to be a such thing someday where we can get a minor league football? So maybe the NFL makes a deal with the USFL that these guys go there to hone their craft per se to get called up to the NFL.
Well,
and because I think it's worked well in Major League Baseball. I think you got your single A, your double A, your triple A, your rookie ball guys that aren't quite ready for the big leagues, but they go there, they get better, and then eventually they get called up. Now, do you see something like that happen? Maybe someday the USFL becomes a developmental league for the NFL?
I think it will by itself. I think if we were looking for an NFL partnership with the league, I think it's going to be the XFL with Rock Johnson. I think I think that's where we're going to see a partnership, but I think he's also trying to partner with the CFL.
Actually, they did sign a deal.
They did sign one? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where I could see a minor league affiliate coming from. I think.
Yeah, but they're going to be like, it's not really a merger. It's more like partnership just to get their brands out there.
Right.
But no matter what league it is, I've heard people say that you have to have the NFL's backing in this, otherwise it's not going to work.
Well, no,
you're XFL or whichever league.
Totally right, Chris, and I completely agree with you. You have to get the NFL on board, and I'm 100%. I agree with that.
I think the NFL has to do is allow players to jump back and forth. Like if they sign in, from CFL, be like, okay, once our season's done, you can go back there and play.
Right.
They can't be exclusive, I think.
I completely agree with that. And I think that's where the NFL is now. They're like, you either sign a deal here, you can't go sign somewhere else, can't play in the off season. And that's maybe one thing that baseball has over football, in the fact that if a guy, playing for the Twins wants to go and play winter ball in Venezuela, or Central America, they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to go play baseball in the winter to keep in shape for the Major League Baseball season. So
or even like basketball for the Olympics. I mean, they're playing NBA basketball, but then they're doing the Olympics. Right.
So I mean, it's going to happen eventually. And I want to say hey to Randy Cox. Thanks for watching, Randy. We say hey back to you.
Hello.
But Because guys, I mean, think about it. So I mean, where we are, we don't have a professional baseball team here in Oregon. Like
You
our
might get one
closest,
soon.
we might, but our closest team would be Seattle. That's a 6-hour drive for me, and I'm probably not going to drive 6 hours to watch Major League Baseball game. However, we have the Eugene Emeralds here that are they're a single A affiliate of the Seattle Mariners. So it's right in town. Like I can drive to the stadium. They got $5 Thursdays. I can go in there. I can get a ticket. I can get a beer. I can get a hot dog for $5. And who's not going to do that? I'm going to go watch some. It's actually professional baseball. These guys get paid to play single A, and it's not as good as Major League Baseball, but it still gives me something to go watch. And I think that's what football's missing. Because if they did their research and they found out that hey, if you put a team, in who knows where, but you put a team somewhere in Idaho that's a semi-pro team or a minor league team, you're going to get people that are going to come and watch just because it's the fact it's some kind of professional football.
And that's basically what the indoor game is. Because like here, like NFL tickets are outrageous. Tickets for that game, for the indoor game, is like $25.
Yeah.
For
well,
one.
we try to go to now they're the AAA affiliate for the Twins. We try to catch some Saint games. I mean, their tickets are like $15 a piece, and you're sitting first row, second row on the baseline. I mean, there's no better baseball. And actually, where I live, the city has a decent amateur baseball team. So I try to, haven't been out there much because of work, but try to get out there and watch a couple bucks to pay to go watch a baseball team for a little bit. I mean, there's nothing better than just to sit back and watch baseball. Especially if it's played right. I mean, if you got good talent out there. I mean, so.
No, I completely agree. And I've been to like I said, I watched the Eugene Emeralds. We don't quite have season tickets, but we'll go watch them. And I lived in Bend in Central Oregon for a little bit, and they had the Bend Elks there. They're like they're rookie ball, and so you get to go there and watch them, and that's exciting too. It's a short season rookie ball, but still,
get the crowd still
right. You're talking the stadium is downtown. It's like 4,000 to 5,000 people that can fit in the stadium, and they're sold out every single night. People going to watch baseball in the middle of the summer. There's nothing better than that.
Well, like you said, I mean, the closest team is what, Seattle, 6 hours away?
Right.
I mean, so maybe you guys are pulling to get Oakland up there. I mean, so.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But so we got the NFL OTA starting, organized team activities, a mandatory mini camp, and there's some no-shows in some of the big, and obviously the biggest one is Aaron Rodgers. He didn't show up in Green Bay. And you get the diehard Green Bay fans, and I'm a diehard Green Bay fan, but you get a lot of them that are like, well, that doesn't mean anything. He's still going to show up for the beginning of the season. Honestly, guys, I think it's over. I think the marriage is over, and I don't think anyone wants to admit that yet. I don't think
there's a lot of reports out there from other analysts that says that the fan base is like 50-50 right now on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think I saw that from Bleacher Report.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So, J-Mac, like you said, you're a Rodgers fan, or a Packer fan, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's your gut feeling, or what are you feeling right now?
At a risk of losing some viewers or some listeners, I'm just going to straight up tell you how I feel. I know you guys respect that about me, and I ain't going to hold back. So, I'll tell you, payers are paid to play. They're not paid to tell you how to run a team. That's not their job. So I do think there's some hurt feelings. I think that he can say all he wants that it's not about Jordan Love getting drafted and him not being told about it. But I'm sorry. Like, if I was in his position, I'd be hurt. I'd be hurt. Yeah. I'm supposed to be the franchise quarterback. You draft a guy in the first round and don't even tell me about it.
This and is I the same saga I played out, 16 years ago, let's say?
Exactly. And I could tell you the same. I mean, I could sit here and tell you that it doesn't have anything to do with that, but it does. And we know it does. And honestly, if Green Bay was smart, and I don't want to see the guy go anywhere. I mean, the guy is an all-world talent. He puts us in the best chance to win of anyone that's on the team right now. Maybe anyone in the league. Maybe a Mahomes, as one person that I could see that would put us in the same situation. But if Green Bay was smart about this, they wouldn't keep pushing it to the point where they think he's coming back.
Yeah.
And if they really, truly wanted to make this work, they would try to get something for him still while we can. Otherwise, you're going to have him sitting out the season, he's going to retire, and then he's going to demand a release. We've seen this story before. And I don't understand how we didn't learn the last time this happened.
I do think. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, we just didn't learn anything from last time. We learned nothing as a franchise.
Right. I think he's going to be benched, but at the same time, they're going to try to find someone, like a team. But in the meantime,
the trade for
yeah. But in the meantime, he'll be benched.
Yeah. As a Viking fan, part of me is like, get him out of here because then Green Bay is going to stink it up a little bit, and then we just have to worry about playing our own game. But I want to see good competition for my team. I mean, and if that means Aaron Rodgers stays there, and you got to beat the best. I mean, it's been said. Ric Flair says it all the time. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Green Bay was in the playoffs last year, and there's nothing better. I'd like to see that the Vikings beat them at 100%.
Or if you don't want him to, torch your team, win.
Exactly. So, I mean, I want to see him stay in Green Bay. I think, like J-Mac said, he's the franchise, and should they have consulted with him a little bit? Yeah. Do they have to? No. But, does he need to go into the office and demand stuff? Yeah. Should he? Yeah. Are they going to listen to him? No. I mean, so.
I think all he wants is input. Them to say,
well,
you couldn't
okay.
find you,
Yeah,
you couldn't find your
input's a different
receiver,
thing.
so we're going to draft a quarterback.
Well, right,
Okay, that's
but
fine.
Chris, it might not even be about that. Like, okay, so we do this radio show together, and by the way, everyone watching and listening, Sarge is still in his hiatus. He'll be back with us as soon as he gets back. He is off fighting our freedom for us, for our country, and we can't thank him enough for that. So thank you very much for that, Sarge. Put that in the middle of the show there. And when he comes back, he'll be welcome back with open arms. But don't you think that being part of this radio show, you and Brandon, if you guys were on here and all of a sudden one day I'm like, you know what, Chris, I think I'm gonna bring someone in that might potentially be your replacement someday, but I'm not gonna tell you about it. You're just gonna show up to the show and I'm gonna be like, oh, by the way, this might be the guy that replaces Chris someday, and I throw that at you in the middle of the show. Aren't you gonna be just a little pissed off? Just a little bit that I didn't even. Not that I didn't consult you, because honestly, again, being the organization can do whatever you want. Really, you can. Mm-hmm. But wouldn't it be just a little? It'd piss you off a little bit just to find out that way, versus me being like, you know what? I don't know that it's working out long term, so we're gonna find someone. We're gonna bring someone new in just to see what they got. We're high on this guy, whatever. That's all I think he wanted. And when you didn't give him that, and then this year you have a chance to go out and get a wide receiver and you draft another cornerback, the direction you're headed in, it's insane. I don't understand.
Do you think, as a Packer fan, do you think Rodgers more upset that they went out and got Love without telling him, or they're not building around Rodgers and what he wants?
I would think both.
I
think a little bit of both. I think Chris is right. I think it's a little bit of both.
I do think it's a little bit of both. So, I mean, it's setting. We always hear big names always sit out the first couple OTAs, and then once the fines start hitting, then they start showing up. I don't know what Rodgers.
Waive those fines.
Yeah, I don't know what the Packers are thinking. Don't know what Rodgers is thinking. I hope for the best for the organization and Rodgers himself. Like I said, as a Viking fan, I want them there because I want my team to beat the best. And if he goes somewhere else and if we don't play him, then who knows? I mean, maybe Love is the next coming of Favre and Rodgers. I mean, maybe, but again, we don't know. We didn't see it. I mean, he barely dressed, I think, any games last year, if that. So
Right. And we had Tim Boyle as a backup most of the year. And I don't want to spend the rest of our time on this, but I just wanted to get you guys' opinion. So to close out this segment quick, we're going to go Randy Cox said, so if Rodgers isn't going to play with the Packers, I think is what he meant, do you think he's going to play for another team or retire? And that's tough to say. I think if Green Bay wants to rebuild and they want to continue to be competitive, they need to trade him and see what they can get for him. And they need to demand a high price. Because if a team wants him, if a team like Denver really wants him, they will give up almost anything to get him. And you know that. And so if they go in and they're like, we want 3 firsts, a second, a premium player and a good receiver, they're probably going to give it up. If they really want him that bad, they're probably going to. Because teams do that stuff all the time. And so I think it's going to depend on if they decide to trade him. Now, if we go into the preseason and he's not traded yet, we go into the regular season, he'll probably just sit. He'll probably retire, to be honest. So I don't know that we know what's going to happen yet, but I think it could be either way.
I think the scary part is that there's no talk, really. There's nobody really stepping up and saying, no, we're not trading. Well, we haven't even heard that there's been offers made.
You don't think it's going to be like a Julio Jones situation where this is what I heard earlier today. They've been keeping this secret, or at least trying to, keeping it a secret for 2 years.
Well, maybe.
And then, that call with Shannon Sharp kind of just blew everything.
Yeah.
But he didn't know about it.
Yeah, I understand it. Maybe they are, but all right. Let's quickly jump over to the WNBA. And get an update there. Now, Chris, I've been giving you a hard time all year saying your Dallas Wings. They had 3 picks in the top 5, and I thought they were going to have a good season, and I'm really high on my Seattle Storm, and they're number 1. And then we went out and lost the other night to the Dallas Wings. So we ended up losing by a point to the Dallas Wings. So congratulations, you guys, on a win.
We'll think it's good, but I don't know if this deal.
I don't think it's going to turn your season around. I don't think that really is going to matter much in the end. But
I just wonder if fans are going lose some more so we can get a better draft pick, because that's all we do.
Maybe. And Brandon,
why do a lot of fans think that just because they lose and they get a better draft pick, it's going to turn things around?
I don't know. I don't like that theory.
I don't know either. Because what I heard going to the NFL, I heard today everyone's like, well, Trevor Lawrence threw 3 pick sixes today and left practice because of hamstring tightness. And they're like, oh, he's the savior in Jacksonville. Like, think about that for a minute. So it's still a professional level versus a non-professional level, bringing in a guy from a player from college. So either way, you're talking about professional versus non-professional. That's what it comes down to in the end.
All you got to do is win. No matter what sport you're in. You got to win. Or at least play good.
So you're going to get to my links, I'm guessing, here.
Oh, yes, we are going to get to your links. How are your links doing?
Right now, they just came off, I believe, a 3-game winning streak. They lost today. So they're 3-5. 4 games back. So, I mean, there ain't much more to say. I mean, they're kind of where I thought they would be after losing some key players. Right now, they're just nipping right outside the playoff, but again, it's early. I think they play, 30-some games roughly?
32.
32? Okay. So it's still a young season, so there's still a chance for them to grow and get there. I don't expect them to make the playoffs. At least I don't expect them to do what they've done in Lynx basketball and make a run. I mean, if they make the playoffs, good. If they don't, I guess you get the draft pick, and hopefully it's a good one. So. But their point differential is minus 1.5, so it's not too bad. I mean, they're playing even basketball, I guess, 82 points against to 80 points above or for. So, they're hanging around there. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, for both of you, for updating us on that. Seattle Storm are still in first place in the West, so that's how my team here is doing. The only Pacific Northwest team that I root for. It's kind of crazy. Living in the Pacific Northwest for 20, let's see, I've been here.
They're only half a game up.
22 years now, 24 years, something like that, and I have one Pacific Northwest team. So that's kind of crazy. Before we get to rapid fire, that's how we always end the show. I just want to shout out a couple of other things that everyone should be watching for. We got the College World Series going on right now in both baseball and women's softball. Make sure you pay attention to both of those. That's our up and coming stars, our next generation of stars coming up there. And women's softball is so entertaining. I might be a homer because my girls play softball, but I'm telling you that women's softball is so entertaining. It really is. It's great to watch them go out there and play their hearts out. And
Well, you talk about women's softball, and my son just did his first baseball practice today, and behind us was high school girls. I believe they're high school girls, just pitching and catching, and the snap of the catcher's mitt. You would have thought they were baseball guys throwing them. I mean, just listening to them and you just hear that snap in the glove. I had to turn back to see what they were doing, and it's like, oh yeah, just a quality snap, and it's just like, man, I don't know if I could touch a pitch. I was watching them for a little bit, yeah, but I don't know if I could touch a pitch.
Yeah, and Christy Wilson is watching. We appreciate you, Christy. You're a good fan. You watch a lot of shows on this network, and we appreciate fans like you jumping in and telling us what you think and giving us your comments. And she says that the women's college World Series has been fun, and it has, and it's fun every year. Every year you see these girls playing their hearts out, and they make plays just like the professional men do. And
they just had a perfect game. Last week?
Oh yeah, perfect game last week. And so one thing that I've heard from baseball players is they're like, hey, you can do so much from elevated mound, 60 feet away, 65 feet away, 10 inches off the ground. But these girls are throwing a ball straight into you from 45 feet away on level. Like they're not up. They're not elevated so the ball comes down.
And they're what, at 60 feet? They're closer than the MLB.
They are. They are.
And the breaking stuff and the rising stuff that they have, oh my God, does that have movement?
Yes, it does.
I mean, yeah. I'm just down watching them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's definitely crazy. And the one thing about softball is the ball can get hit anywhere. Like you can't shift against these girls because they can hit the ball anywhere. You never know. They can go first to third on any hit, and it's definitely exciting to watch.
Or they get the long ball going. I mean,
yeah, it's insane. So don't forget both of those are going on. Also, don't forget that we got the NHL playoffs going on. We're going to be at the Stanley Cup soon. Congratulations to Tampa Bay Lightning. They're headed back to the Stanley Cup Finals. They won tonight to close out that series. So we'll see the Tampa Bay Lightning with a chance to repeat in the Stanley Cup, which I think they will.
And that's the first time this is possible happening since what, Detroit?
Since Detroit, back in our heyday. Yep.
Okay.
So it should be fun. Should be a lot of fun in that. So that's going on. The NBA playoffs, of course, are going on right now. And I don't think anyone's going to touch the Nets. To be honest, I think that's a foregone conclusion there. I think the Nets.
Well, yeah. Once they get their big three healthy, because one's sitting right now. I mean, I believe. I think they're playing with the two-headed. So yeah,
they are.
The Nets right now. Yeah, they're healthy. They're untouchable.
Right. And then Christy Wilson says, "Go Vegas Golden Knights," and I think that's who the Lightning are going to end up playing in the Stanley Cup Finals is the Golden Knights.
I think so. Yeah.
But I think that the Lightning will be too much to handle. I think the Lightning are gonna take it.
I'm rooting for Lightning.
Nobody's gonna. Shout out to Will Polston. I mean, no one's gonna touch that team. So so we got that going on. Again, we got the OTAs in football. We got a lot of exciting things going on in sports. It's an exciting time, so pay attention to all that. We'll have more on our page on the Four Bros Radio Show. We'll download some stuff on what's going on for sports. Pay attention to lacrosse, all kinds of stuff going on. So let's make sure we're paying attention to all that and giving them all the love they need. Volleyball will be starting soon. Beach volleyball will be here, and the Olympics are going to be on. Let's make sure we're watching the Olympics and pride in your country and all of that for all of that.
So, but before we go to our rapid fire, what about the hockey goalie, the 16-year-old girl that got drafted to the Canadian League? I mean, what do you guys think about that? I know we try to pump out as much women's sports as we can and get them notarized. I mean, Tanya Curry, I think her name is.
Yeah.
So
that is who it is.
Old. I mean, and hockey's big up there, so they know their hockey. So
How crazy is that, by the way? I was thinking about that the other day. I actually, at the store, I have a guy that works in my receiving department who's Canadian.
Okay.
And I'm talking to him the other day, and I'm like, man, how the hell did your country develop hockey? Like, you guys have to be the nicest country I've ever met. And this is the nicest guy I've ever met. It's like, hey, you didn't quite do that. Or, a customer calls him a name, and he's like, okay, well, hey, you have a nice day. Just like the nicest people you ever meet.
You have to be
I've heard
nice in
that.
retail. I mean,
Well, but still,
Yeah, but
I
I've
mean,
always heard Canadians. were
Canadians are very nice people.
Yeah.
And how did they come up with hockey? Like the most violent sport, pretty much
next
on
to
earth.
football.
Yeah.
Next to football.
I mean, next to football. But this is one thing about hockey. Real quick before we go to rapid fire, this is the one thing about hockey that
they
I
allow
love.
fighting.
They allow fighting. And what's your penalty for it? It's a 5 minutes in the penalty box.
Yep.
You get a 5-minute timeout for punching a guy in the face.
Bad.
You get a 5-minute timeout. I mean, in football, you get fined. Baseball, you get fined and suspended. Like, you're gone. Hockey, you rip some guy's helmet off and punch him square in the face, and they're like, oh, you can't do that. You go sit in the timeout box for 5 minutes. Then you come back after you do that. You come back in the next period. Guess what? You rip his helmet off and punch him in the face again, and they're like, go sit for another 5 minutes in the timeout box. Like, I'm sorry. It's crazy how much you can get away with in hockey.
It's like your parents going, no, bad.
Right,
In the
exactly,
corner.
exactly. So if I played hockey and there was a guy I didn't like, I would just repeatedly do it all game. I'd spend my whole game in the hockey in the penalty because I would just rip his helmet off and punch him in the face.
I don't like you.
Well, it's even funny that some games even start that way. They just throw down right away. I've seen that happen a few times. At least once every couple of years, you're like, oh, and today, right when the puck dropped, the left and right wingers went right at it, and started the game off.
Yeah, exactly. All right, gentlemen, we've reached that time where it's rapid fire time. Are we ready tonight?
Yes,
Ready.
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Okay. We'll start with Chris tonight.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. What is your what's your favorite name to give a pet?
I have a cat named Scar.
Scar. That's a good one. I like that. I like Scar. I like Scar for a name. What is your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever used?
I haven't done much Halloween in a while. I can't remember. I didn't really do trick or treating.
Really?
I mean, I did a little, but
Really? Huh.
yeah. I, mean,
I still
did.
want to. I'm like 36 and I still want to trick or treat. I still want to go around and have people give me candy.
Yeah.
Well,
candy's
fun
good.
fact about Halloween. Minnesota, or actually, Anoka, Minnesota, is known for Halloween. They're called the Halloween capital of the world.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, a funny little known story. We'll get into this another time, but Halloween's a pagan holiday. I happen to be pagan, and I can tell you all the original where Halloween started and the reasons why we have it. And we'll get into the story about Halloween, Easter, and all that. We'll do that on another show. We'll have a holiday show.
Little
Anyway,
teaser out there.
yeah. Last one for Chris is, what is the song that you hear the most often?
Oh, this funny. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Oh, pulling out the TLC. A little bit of back in the day.
Wow.
Lefty,
I
Left
wasn't
Eye
expecting
Lopez.
that
I
one.
love it. That's awesome. That's great. All right, Brandon, are you ready, sir?
Oh, sure, why not?
All right. What is your least favorite type of music?
Ooh, that's tough. I do like a lot of different music. I guess I would have to go with like the old grungy, like heavy metal stuff. I mean, I still kind of listen to it, but like the old school heavy metal grunge stuff, I think would be it.
Okay. All right. If you could teleport, where would you teleport to and why?
Ooh, are we talking like nowadays, or are we talking about Back in the Future? Anywhere?
Anywhere.
Oh man, that's tough because there's a lot of things. If I could go anywhere, I guess I'd go. Ooh, man. That is tough. I guess I would have to go back in the day and go watch the Rumble in the Jungle. Boxing between Muhammad Ali and Frazier. Right? That's who it was, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
that's
you always hear about that classic matchup. It's like, God, I would love to go back and see that live.
That would be cool. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Christy Wilson says she would be on a beach in Florida, and I can't disagree.
I'd be in a beach in Florida, not on it. I'd be in it.
Right. I'd be in it with sitting in a beach chair with an IV running into my arm of margaritas. I mean, I wouldn't even get up.
The way the weather's going right now, yeah. Anything.
I wouldn't even get up. Randy Cox wants to go back to 1999. I'm not sure why.
Why?
I don't think I want to know the answer to that question when it comes to Randy, to be completely honest.
Well, then he said he's 36 and he still wants to trick or treat. I wonder what Randy would dress up as because we all know Randy. I wonder what he would dress up as.
You know what? I'm going to throw this out there. He's probably going to hate me for this, but Randy, I want to see you in a Rapunzel costume.
That might be a bet we might have to make with some people to dress up.
I know the comment. I know the comment that's coming next. If you heard that, so
you heard it. He's
last one
right now.
Last one for you, Big B, would be: what do you think of when I say the word fruit?
Healthy, I guess. I mean,
Healthy. Okay. Okay.
Bananas, apples, and
right. Bananas, apples, and oranges. That's what I always think of when I hear fruit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we made it through that. Thanks again for that, guys. Thanks for being on the show tonight. We thank you all for listening and watching. And, we couldn't do the show without you guys. So we just want to make sure that you. Oh, by the way, Randy said pineapple. So I just want to do this, Randy. Pineapple pin. He knows what that means. That's an inside joke between us.
Pineapple without pizza, by the way.
We'll get in that conversation another time too. But again, I'm not an olive guy, so I don't even think olives go on pizza. But a lot of people beg to differ with me on that. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. So that's why we don't get into those conversations. We don't. Sometimes
I think there could be an hour conversation plus on some of these food topics.
Honestly, I think we're gonna have to do this one night. We're gonna have to have like a long extended show, and we're just gonna have to bring up some of this stuff. So, Randy Cox says grr. Christy Wilson says apple. Again, we thank you for listening. Hey, Chris, you got about 30 seconds, man. Tell us anything you want to tell us so we can get out of here.
Thank you guys for watching, tuning in, leaving comments, interacting. One thing on that indoor football, next year, there's going to be a women's league. So.
They bring back a women's league because they used to have kind of one.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be announced sometime this year.
All right, cool. All right, we'll definitely promote that here on Coast to Coast and the Four Bros Radio Show. Two bros and one Big B. What do you want to say, man?
Thanks for everybody for watching. For me, it's always been a pleasure talking sports, food, music, movies, whatever. Do my trivia show on Sundays. I love doing it all. I enjoy the interaction with our viewers and, throw a little jabs at the rest of our hosts and, get them going. So can't do it without you, like J-Mac always says.
All right. And again, we can't do it without you. We thank you for listening, for watching. Catch us on you can catch us on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. We put this up there. You catch us on Anchor. We're on there. Rewatch us anytime. You can download it and listen to it anytime. We appreciate you all so much. We hope that you have a great night. We hope the weather is fair for you. We hope summer's coming. Summer's coming. It's a few days away.
Feels like it's here.
It feels like it's here some places. So we all hope that you have a great time. Do whatever you're doing. Watch some sports. We will be with you next time. I think Friday. Let me check on that. We'll get to you. We'll let you know for sure. But we wish you all a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will see you on the other side.